Just your thoughts on how Bradley Chubb has improved since he got back, what you've seen from him. And also, was there any playful razzing for him for just finishing half a yard short of the end zone on his return?
Yeah. First of all, the common theme is he gets better every week, and the more comfortable he gets, and we just see him playing faster, reacting better. I'm sure he wants one more yard, but it's a great thing for offense to punch it right in.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Ed. So last time you played the Chargers, able to contain Austin Eckler pretty well. He's coming back from the COVID list. What'd you do well against him last time, and how do you kind of replicate that performance to keep him from being the game changer?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's their whole offense that you got to deal with, and the top-level quarterback with a lot of weapons, and it was really our whole plan. But you're asking a fair question. Inside all that, you got to keep, an eye on him. And if he gets too much space, it can really hurt you. So they have a lot of dynamic downfield routes, and then he can hurt you with a check down. And then he gets in the red zone on third down, and he's fast out of the backfield, and he's hard to cover with one guy. So, again, we'll add coverage to him and take it away. They have a lot of other threats, so we'll move the hard down around, and hopefully we can be successful again.
Go for it, George.
Yeah, Ed, I asked Vic this, but when you guys traded for Jonas, he was obviously viewed as mostly just a special teams guy. So I'm wondering, when did you kind of realize, okay, this guy can help us on the defensive side of the ball at inside linebacker? And maybe what's impressed you the most about him these last few weeks?
Yeah. We didn't know much about him at all. It's hats off to our personnel department. They're constantly combing the league for potential guys that can help us on special teams at that time, but then be a potential contributor. Did we think at the time he'd be a starter? Not really. But, it's a credit to Reggie Herring. He got to work with him, in his meetings and on the field, and we gradually weaved him back in there. Vic had made some comments that he noticed him on the demonstration squad for our offense. So, it just all worked together. But it really goes back to Jonas. This is such a quality person with quality background, and he's such an eager learner and, good teammate. So it's all those things. But the one thing about him, he has a lot of speed and explosion in his body, and he shows instincts in the run game.
Go ahead, Eric.
Ed, are there certain things that Pat Surtain does better now than he did maybe earlier in the season? Where have you seen the most growth from him?
Yeah, with a young player, you're always looking at how quickly they can learn the nuances of the league and the offense in the league. And he's really at the top of the class, the guys we've seen over the years. And so you put his skill together with the knowledge he's created and the ability to adjust and adapt on the run. That makes a really good player. I see just such a bright future for Pat.
Go for it, Mike.
Yeah, Ed, no one got hammered with COVID more than you did last year. I was wondering about your concern level as this virus is going around again. And do you detect anything with your players coming back and struggling with fatigue at all?
Yeah, I think every case is different. You have to look at your players, and we use our observation skills to see how they're doing, and we take great respect to how we bring guys back, and we have to be mindful about that. Your other question about me, I'm through that, but I'm with different strands of this virus. You never let your guard down, and so I'm just very mindful of that, and I try to pass on in my knowledge to other people.
We've got time for just a couple more. Go ahead, Troy.
We are glad you're doing much better. Ed, on a football-related question, what did you learn from your first meeting with Justin Herbert this year? And can you continue that, or do you got to flip the script a little bit, believing he might try to adjust what you guys used successfully against him in that first matchup?
Yeah, when you're playing the same opponent, divisional opponent, there's always a chess match element to it. So you can't just go out there and put the same thing out there. There has to be changes and adjustments. They're not exactly the same team as we played we played him before. But I have great respect for this guy. He can throw with all arm angles. You can see that he has great arm strength. And the hardest thing about defending him is he sees everything and he sees subtle differences in coverage as the play is unwinding and coming off. So anyways, we'll have some new looks for him and he'll have some new stuff for us too.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Ed, how hard is it to balance getting the 3 takeaways and then not coming away with the win? So, having that to hang your hat on and hoping you have more of that, but, ultimately it wasn't enough.
Yeah, well, we just go out and try to do it again. This is, what's really encouraging about this team is they're playing for one another and they're playing for the cause of loving the game. And that's so important to see. We've had so many lineup changes offensively and defensively. And, all our position groups and units, they rally together and that's what you want to see in a team. So, that's really encouraging about our guys. It doesn't matter what happened last week. They're going to go out there and try to replicate that. And that will give our team the best chance to win if we can set up our offense, give them the ball in good field position.
Last two, Zach and Cody. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Coach, why were the Raiders able to have success on the ground last week? And what has to change for that not to happen against the Chargers?
Yeah, fair question. It just got away from us a little bit in the second half and we didn't get it contained, but every game plan is different. And sometimes we're buying a little more coverage and mixing it, taking it away as far as our emphasis. But again, we go back to, how we're going to whip blocks for starters. And then how can we position our men at times different to help ourselves? So it's all those things and every game is separate to itself.
Finish this off, Cody.
Yeah, hey, Coach, the Chargers are the 3rd most efficient offense in the NFL on 3rd down, and one of those keys is really Keenan Allen. So when they move him from the outside to the inside in the slot, what's the biggest challenge that he presents to you defensively when you're trying to scheme against kind of allowing him to go off?
Yeah. Well, again, he's a guy that's going to need extra attention at times. There's no question that, he's just such an accomplished slot player. And what he can do, he just reads leverage and coverage so quickly and in an instant, and he's hooked up with his quarterback. And when they're together, it's really tough. So we have to get on him tight and be ready for, so many different moves and options that he can create.
Coach Donatel, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate you.
Have a great afternoon.
Hey, Coach, with the news that you guys aren't practicing, how much does that change, losing a day with Drew, or because of what y'all went through last year? Is this just kind of old hat?
No, yeah, I think we're all getting used to adjusting to the schedule. And, obviously we had to go through it last year, so we'll adjust. We'll try to do what we can today virtually, and then we'll try to circle back tomorrow and get some of the plays that we had intended to practice today. We'll weave them in tomorrow's practice.
Go ahead, Andrew Mason.
Hey, Pat, looking at the film and also just in general, what did you think of Drew Locke's performance against the Raiders?
I think, certainly we didn't do enough to win the game, but I think Drew made a lot of nice throws. Drew executed our offense in a way that, we were able to function. I think it's fair to say that we didn't run the ball well enough, and, we didn't make all the plays that were out there. And I think that contributed to the outcome. But he played much better, in my opinion, than he did in his last outing when he came in against the Chargers. And, he throws the ball well. He moved around well. He had a couple of things that he would like to have back, but, he was out there, and it was much better than his performance the last time against the Chargers.
Let's go, Eric, and then Kyle. Go ahead, Eric.
Coach, what's impressed you most about Javonte this season that maybe you didn't expect when he was coming in?
Yeah, we saw all the traits that we're seeing in terms of his ability to run the ball, his ability to pass protect. I mean, he's really physical in pass protection, which is something that you can't always see a lot in college, evaluating college tape. Catches the ball well. He's got great instincts, and he's really good mentally, and those are all things that when you draft a player, you're hoping they show up the way you think they will. And he's done that. You know, he's really an all-around back, and, you know, and he's been durable as well. So he's been out there. The durability piece is something that you never can tell coming from the college setting.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Pat, you mentioned those run game struggles against the Raiders. What gives you confidence you guys will refine that identity in the run game this Sunday?
Yeah, I think, you know, they got us on a couple of plays, and, you know, and then it kind of steamrolled on itself. You know, we took some shots that we didn't hit on, you know, and so then again, you get away from it a little bit. I think it's important. I've always said it's important to run the ball. And when you do it, we have to be efficient. You know, we have to gain yards. And I'm very confident. You know, the focus has been good. We were able to, in our eyes, fix the problems that showed up. And just like any next game, you go on and improve.
Go for it, Mike.
Yeah, Coach, Drew was 5 of 7 on third down, and
Right.
none of them picked up the first down.
Right.
And so the issue is, you know, throwing short of the sticks. Is that by design? Are the receivers
Right.
not, you know, address that, if you will?
Yeah, I think each one of those plays has a story. There are times in longer yardage situations where they don't allow you to throw the ball past the sticks, so you're in a situation where you have to catch it and run for it. You know, and you know, you've seen this year. Early in the year, we had that scenario. Middle of the year, not so much. And then that popped up again on last Sunday. You know, and then, you know, then there are a couple other times where because there are times when you have to throw it below the sticks to get a completion, and then you just got to run for it. So each one of those plays you're talking about, you know, we had options past the sticks that maybe were covered. And then there were a couple of those opportunities where, you know, it just didn't get done.
Go ahead, Zach.
Coach, you said that Drew was much improved last week from the last time he was out. Where do you want to see him take a step from last week to this week?
Well, I think, you know, you want to see the quarterback, you know, lead you to victory. And, you know, you want him to be able to execute the offense in a highly efficient way, deliver the ball on time, and get us in the end zone. And I think those are all things that, you know, we all understand that. And I think it's important that he understands it, and he does. And he's just looking to improve.
Go ahead and finish us off, Cody.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, one question. We've started to see Albert Okwuegbunam, Noah Fant, utilize a little bit more vertically downfield the last couple of games. How's that been able to open up for them in comparison to early on in the season, and how can they continue to grow in that facet?
Yeah, I think each game is a different scenario. You know, we have been able to hit or take shots at, you know, the tight end down the field. We had a couple more, you know, obviously against the Raiders. It helps. I mean, anytime a receiver can catch a ball down the field or be targeted down the field, it helps you on offense. And so we'll just try to continue to look for opportunities to get that done.
All right, Coach Shurmur, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.